If your computer's on its last legs, you know it. Sites aren't loading quickly. Files take forever to open.
If this is the year that you buy a new PC, keep local service and support in mind because it can make a difference.
Here to compute this from Schrock Innovations, Thor Schrock.
Hi,
Good
Thor.
to see
Hey
you.
guys, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so when we talk about computers, and I've got one that's it's taking forever to load. I can't get web pages to load. To fire it up, it takes like 20 minutes.
Yep. You use Macs though, right?
I do, but I think it's a 12-year-old Mac. But
You need some RAM. You need some memory.
I need some RAM.
Yeah.
That's right. And when it comes to RAM, you guys have computers that are a little bit different than the box stores.
Arby's,
Yes.
they've got the meats. Schrock, we've got the RAM.
You got the RAM.
I like it.
But the RAM speeds it up, right?
Yeah,
It's all what's underneath the hood.
Yeah, basically, have you ever wondered when you go to the box store and you look at all the laptops sorted out in front of you, how Schrock Innovations can take that entire selection and reduce it to 3?
No.
Right.
It's because there's
Tell
so
us.
many things under the hood. One of the new things that we're seeing, the newer laptops, the 2016 models, use a different type of memory than the 2015 models did. It's called the DDR3L for low power. The low power RAM uses less energy, so you see it in laptops because it makes the battery life last longer. And the regular memory that you would put in a laptop won't work. The 2015 memory won't work with a 2016 laptop. So when you go to the store and you say, well, these two laptops have the exact same specifications. They both have 4 to 6 gigs of RAM. They both have the same size hard drives. They both have an i5 processor, let's say. But this one is $300 and this one is $700. Same screen size, could even be the same brand. They look the same, they have the same ports on the side. Well, I'm a value consumer. I'm going to buy the $300 unit, and then a year later, you're in the boat that you're in right now. Now, you've had the Mac for 12 years. That's expected to be in a boat after 12 years where you got to do some upgrading. After a year, though?
No.
Okay, so when you get into buying a computer, there are all kinds of specifications, and we've talked about a few of them before, like the hard drive rotation speed. You know, most laptops, especially the cheap ones, come with 5,400 RPM hard drives. They spin 5,400 rotations per minute, which sounds really, really fast because it is fast. You know, I wouldn't want to touch it, when it's spinning like that. It's like a buzzsaw. But the nicer laptops have hard drives that rotate at 7,200 rotations per minute. That's even nicer. And the really nice laptops have solid-state drives, and those are incredibly fast. So just in that one specification, you can take a laptop with a 5,400 RPM hard drive, take that drive out, put a solid-state in it, and it will boot in like 8 seconds.
That's a lot of computer mumbo jumbo, but I want to talk about RAM for a second because that's important. How much RAM do typical computers have nowadays? Because it's a lot more than what they had.
It's important because Mike needs RAM. That's why it's important.
It is, but but even 5 years ago, because it's these operating systems take so much more RAM to operate, right?
Well, no, actually, the Windows operating system actually uses less resources. Windows 10 uses less resources than 7 or 8 did. Now, Mac, that's a different ballgame. The Mac OSs continually use more and more. They haven't hit that point yet where they're like, okay, we've done everything that can be done, so now let's start to work on making it more efficient. And that's where Windows 10, that's where Microsoft is at with Windows.
So with Windows, what's a minimum RAM you think you need to start out with?
No less than 4.
No less than
No
4.
less than 4. And you're going to struggle to find a computer out there with less than 4 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
6 gigs of RAM is the sweet spot. Our higher end laptops will come with 8 gigs of RAM. The i5s that we sell will have 8 gigs of RAM.
Those are like decked out and everything. It's like the
I mean,
top of the
There's even
line
more.
across the board.
How high can you go?
You can, in most laptops can be upgraded to 16. Some of the really fancy laptops, like the gaming laptops that you'll spend $1,500, $2,000 on, can go all the way up to 32 gigs of RAM.
So the PC itself is going to be different because you said you have 3 models because you're confident in what you're putting in each of them. You're not trying to make heads spin. That's unique. The warranty setup is also different at Schrock Innovations.
Okay,
Also,
what we're seeing in the industry as a whole right now, we're seeing it locally and we're seeing it nationally. Locally, we've lost, in the last 12 months, we've lost 3 computer stores. We lost DIT, they're closed. We lost Computers to Go. That one, the owner had a health issue. That's why that one closed. But and then I can't remember the third one. There was a third one that closed down this year. Nationally, what we're seeing is the number of units of people buying new PCs is going down because people are using tablets or other things that typically aren't considered PCs. And so what the manufacturers are doing is they're squeezing every nickel they can out of every PC they sold. It's basic math. You have to make so much money to make your shareholders happy. The number of units you're selling is going down. You have to make each unit more profitable to hit your numbers. So what's happening is we're seeing little things getting squeezed out. For example, do you know that right now no PC laptop warranty covers the battery at all? So you could buy a brand new laptop, take it home, have the battery die on you the next week, which does happen sometimes, things break, and that's not covered by your warranty.
Well, that's a bunch of baloney.
And the batteries are now internal. You can't remove them. So it's not like your old Dell where you just unclip the battery and buy a new one on Amazon and clip it in. You have to take it to a shop to have it open. The other thing we're seeing on warranties, Apple just started doing this as well. If you have a hard drive that dies, this is how it's always been with PCs. This is new to Apple. If your hard drive has a problem and you take your Mac into the Apple store with your Apple Care warranty to get it replaced, they don't cover your data at all. They will replace the hard drive and install a clean iOS, but if you want your data, you better have a backup. You don't have a time machine backup? Well, then you really should have had one.
Hey,
that's the answer.
If somebody's in the market for a computer, when they come into Schrock Innovations, what's that process like? What do you tell them? How do you get the conversation rolling?
Yeah, it happens every day. We have people that come in and they say, I'm looking for a computer. And the first question we always ask, what are you going to do with it? Because if you're doing AutoCAD for example, we had two little old ladies that came in and they just did Facebook, email, internet. They don't need to spend $700 on a laptop or $700 on a desktop. The $500 models are perfect for what they do. On the other hand, we had a gentleman come in who makes his own music, plays high-end games, and he says, I want to build a computer. This is what I found online. And he brings in all these printouts and says, is this a good build? And that's something that we do at Schrock. He didn't buy the computer from us. But he came in with all of his stuff and spread it out on the counter and said, am I making any mistakes here? And our guys came up and looked over everything he was doing and said, hey, this is a great build. This is awesome. So he gets all the parts, he orders everything, gets it home, realizes putting it together ain't so easy, brings in all the parts and pays us an hour of labor to build his computer for him.
Well, I'm more in that first boat, right? I'm just using it for work stuff and email and Facebook and not a lot of heavy lifting. But depending on your needs, you can shop for PCs, laptops, for home units at Schrock Innovations. And 3 locations in our area. We showed you those addresses. You can also visit SchrockInnovations.com for more information. Thor, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
You solved the RAM mystery today.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Yes, in the Morning Blend, start there.